Hey ladies, and welcome to Aries Ideas.
To keep it real, I'm not that friendly, I'm just charismatic. I used to think I needed him, but I was just distracted.
Today we have a very exciting topic. We're going to talk about the differences between being a kind, genuine person, whereas being a nice girl, okay? And being kind and being nice, if you look it up, they are synonyms, but no. The meanings of them are very different if you are a nice girl and if you are a kind girl. You are not the same kind of girl. Okay, so we're gonna get into that, and I'm gonna break down for you what it means to be a nice girl, how she thinks, how she wants, and then vice versa, what it means to be a kind girl, how she thinks and what she wants, and ultimately, well, you're gonna see the kind girl is the better girl to be, okay? So without further ado, let's just get straight into what it means to be a nice girl. First of all, she's very much so a people pleaser, and this comes down to her root core of just wanting to feel loved, wanting to be liked, wanting to be accepted. And this is an understandable thing. I have a lot of empathy for the nice girl, and I in no way am saying this to be mean to anybody who is currently a nice girl, because I was there. Whenever I'm talking about anything in my videos, what I'm really doing is talking to my past self, and hopefully what I have learned from my life experience thus far will benefit and help somebody else and help another woman just have it click in their head. So being a people pleaser is the first attribute of a nice girl. She will be walked over, and she really does have no backbone, no boundaries, because she believes if she has boundaries and if she enforces them, one, that's really fucking scary. Like, it's really, really scary to go up to people and tell them no to their face. That requires a lot of practice, and it's something that's not comfortable for anybody. Nobody learns saying no easily. It's like a trial and error process. You'll get a no to your no, so you have to learn to be stable and secure in yourself first, and then that will harness you with the ability to set your boundaries on someone, to say no. And something that I've realized is you need to surround yourself with people and find people who will listen to your no in order for you to feel comfortable to say it. Because if you enforce your boundaries on someone and they are disrespectful of them and they do not listen to you because they do not care, you're going to internalize that, and there's really no way around that. You will internalize it, and you'll learn it's not safe for my body, it's not safe for me to say no. And what do we want to do? We all just want to feel peace. We want to feel okay. We want to feel loved, accepted, safe. So if you're around people who make you feel unsafe, of course, you're going to have an issue saying no. The nice girl is very easily influenced and swayed by other people's opinions. I had this friend back in middle school, and we were very close friends, but she was very, very easily swayed by others' opinions. And if somebody talked behind my back or just didn't like me all that very much, she would be influenced by that and start to avoid me, which really hurt, because obviously I internalized that and I took that as what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? When in reality, it's middle school. Not everyone's gonna like you. People get jealous. People, stealing other people's boyfriends. So-and-so likes who, and so-and-so's boyfriend. It's a crazy couple years, Middle school. When it comes to being easily influenced, it brings us right back to having a lack of boundaries and a lack of a stabilized belief system. So you're just like a sponge, and you're just taking in everyone's opinions, everyone's thoughts, with the belief that they are correct, when in reality, just because someone has an opinion of something, just because someone is telling you their own belief about a certain subject, does not mean that you have to agree with that. It does not mean that you also have to believe in that. There are some things where like I have certain beliefs that I just like don't believe. My parents have certain beliefs that I don't necessarily believe in. My sister has certain beliefs that I don't necessarily believe in. My friend has beliefs that I don't necessarily believe in. And that's okay. You are an individual, and what you choose to believe is entirely your choice. Just because they're immediate family or your close friends, maybe your boyfriend, it's okay to have different beliefs on certain things, as long as they are not very major core beliefs that will affect your relationship in some way, because I do think that's a very important thing, to have similar belief systems with someone if you want to have a very deep, strong connection. But if it's a more minor little things, minor little perspectives, it's okay to agree to disagree on those things. The nice girl really can't stand up for her, and she relies on other people to speak for her, whether that be her friend group, her partner, her parents, her siblings. She doesn't feel comfortable in her own voice. And the reason why is she thinks that she will be judged on it, and she thinks that her own opinion is wrong, or that it's going to be questioned in some way. And this comes down to being polarizing. Being a polarizing person means that you show up as you are. You have your own opinions. You have your own belief systems and your way of thinking about the world. And of course, a not like awful world. Of course, if you're like a racist or a homophobic person, you're just like, this is my belief system and I'm gonna spread it to the world. Like, no, please have some good judgment when I'm talking here. I'm just saying, generally speaking, when you are being yourself, when you're embodying who you are, and you can stick up for yourself when you're in that position because you know who you are. A nice girl does not know who she is yet. She's still growing into it. She's still learning about herself. She's not sure. And this is a phase if you would like it to be. It could also be a permanent thing, being a nice girl. It all depends on if you decide that you're going to grow out of it, grow with it, grow through it, or stay in it and remain in the same mindset. It's all up to you, really. The nice girl is incredibly inauthentic, and she doesn't mean to be, she just is. When you cannot genuinely be yourself, when you cannot stick up for yourself, when you cannot voice your opinions, when you cannot have boundaries and like tell people who you are, how can you expect people to know who you are? How can you expect to show up in a way that is real, that's not fake, that's not a mask in order to get the validation from other people? And what this does, this lack of authenticity, is it blocks all deep, meaningful connections with other people. This is why a lot of nice girls are so incredibly lonely, and they could be in a room full of people and still feel like no one gets them or no one cares, or that they just don't have any real people around them, because, you know, inauthenticity will attract inauthenticity. So if you're being around a nice girl, generally you'll attract a lot of people who also are not authentic, or who will walk over you, who will abuse your niceness in order to benefit themselves and their own lives, whether that be asking you constantly for little favors without any return, without any favors given back to you. You know, that's abuse of niceness, and that's honestly a big problem for the nice girls, that the wrong people will do that to her. Now, the nice girl has a very scarce mindset when it comes to quantity versus quality of friends. The nice girl believes that the more friends that she has, the more secure that she is, and she has some abandonment issues as well, believing if she has more friends, if she has more people she knows, if she has more people that like her, then she's way less likely to be left out in the cold, to be unaccepted, and she's just going to be able to fit in better, even though she's not fitting in because she's not even being herself. So like, what is she even fitting into? She's a very sensitive person and is able to feel other people's emotions so well. And this is what I have, like, I feel so awful for the nice girls because I know how much they care, but the motive behind it is more focused on how she feels than I feel like she realizes, because the core and like what she wants is to feel safe. She wants to feel accepted by other people. She wants to feel validated, and that is no way to show up in the world. And you can't show up like that and then expect to feel fulfillment out of that. It's not how it's going to work. It's actually just going to drain you pretty much every single day. It's going to be the core of your thoughts, and it's going to be a constant state of being, of feeling very unstable and insecure in your placement in other people's lives and how they view you. Like, do they like you? Do they even want to be your friend? Like, why are they your friend? Like, you will be abused for these different things if you just embody your niceness comparatively to your kindness. Back when I was in elementary school and in second grade, every Friday there would be chocolate bars, and they were sold right before people got on the bus. And at that time I took the bus home to school. At this time I was also the biggest nice girl, the biggest people pleaser, would do everything in my power to be nice to everyone so that nobody wouldn't like me. And it was so sad because every time I got a chocolate bar and I went onto the bus, I'd have like people sit next to me and I'd have them talk to me and like me, but it was only because they wanted some of my chocolate, not that they actually wanted to hang out with me. And the days that I did not buy a chocolate bar, the days that I just went on the bus, nobody would sit next to me except for my one friend who would sit next to me no matter what, if I had a chocolate bar or not. Now I want you to realize that the quality and the quantity of people, when you embody your kindness, the quantity will generally go down, but the quality of those people in your life will go way up. You don't need a billion different people in your, not a billion, that's a bit of an exaggeration. You don't need a lot of people in your life, like super, like just like friends, to feel fulfilled. What you need is strong, genuine, deep bonded connections. Doesn't have to be that many in order to feel fulfillment. I've been in both places. I've been in places where I've had like a lot of friends and they were more surface, and like where I've had like maybe 3 to 5 very close bonded connections, and I felt so lonely when it comes to having multiple service level connections comparative to the less quantity but way better quality friendships. I want to get a little bit into niceness mentality before I go into the kindness. She has the idea that she needs to earn love, and that if she just loves people so much, if she's just so nice, if she just does everything for everyone, then they will recognize her, they will never take advantage of her, they will just be like so grateful to have her in their life. When in reality, if you don't allow people to put effort into you in order to gain your energy, your presence, your gifts, they will not value you. People do not value other people that they do not have to invest in, that they do not have to put time and energy into. Friendships go both ways, okay? You cannot be so invested in giving your all into someone and being okay with them not doing that for you as well and call that a friendship. No, that's a one ship. That is not how it works. That person is not your friend. Not everybody has to be your friend. It is okay to have acquaintances. It is okay to have people you know. Not everyone deserves to be called your friend, okay? She also is worried that if she doesn't like someone, if she doesn't like everybody, then that means that she is the mean person. She is the bully. When, like I just said, it's okay to not like specific people. It's okay for you to be turned off by another person's behavior. You don't have to like everyone. Now, saying that, just because you don't like them does not mean that you have to tell them. You recognize that in yourself, like, okay, I don't really appreciate how that person is showing up in whatever way they're showing up. I'm going to do what I can control, and that means I'm going to walk away. I'm going to step away. I'm not going to give my time and attention to that person. When you're distancing yourself from someone, they might come back to you and say like, hey, like, why'd you stop doing this? Like, why'd you stop like reaching out so much? Like, doing those things that you've always done. And you can be honest with them if you feel comfortable to do so. You can tell them like, hey, like, I really didn't like how you showed up this way. I didn't like how you acted, and that's why I'm distancing myself. You know, I do feel like honesty is the best policy when it comes to that situation. And if they care about you enough, they will change their actions. And if they don't care, excuse me, if they don't truly care about you, they will somehow make it about you. It's your fault, and like make you feel like the bad guy, or they'll just ignore you. So pretty much those are the circumstances that will come out of that conversation of being open and honest with someone about how their actions made you feel. And you'll learn about a lot about someone through their response of you being open, of you being vulnerable. That covers the nice girl. And now I want to get into the kind girl. The kind girl gives her energy, her love, her sweetness, her thought, her care freely to other people until it is taken advantage of. And in that way, like once that happens, once someone abuses that kindness that was given freely, she then stops giving it to that person. And this is the major difference between the nice girl and the kind girl. If a nice girl is super kind, which of course she is, she's like, she wants to give everything to everybody. When she's acting this way towards someone and they abuse that, she will continue to give her kindness. Whereas her niceness, Whereas the kind girl, once she realizes that she's giving it to the wrong person, she sets her boundary and she stops. When I say that she stops giving her kindness, I do not mean that she starts becoming mean, that she starts becoming cold, that she starts becoming a bully, okay? If she does that, she was never a kind person in the first place. I mean that she distances herself. She is not a reactive person, and instead, she is a very responsive person. So she can look at a situation very maturely and notice, okay, this person is not treating me how I know that I deserve to be treated. How do I want to proceed? How do I want to respond to this going forward? She can either have an open conversation with this person and tell her like, hey, I did not appreciate when you did XYZ. And you can say like, hey, like if you don't stop doing these things, like I am going to remove myself from the situation. And like I said earlier, if they genuinely care about you, they will change. And if they do not care about you, then they won't change. It's pretty black and white like that. You know, people, like listen to people. listen to people's actions and listen to them the first time that they show up a certain way, okay? Boundaries are so freaking important, and the right people are like not gonna cross them in the first place because they know like right from wrong, or B, they are going to like flip so fast when they realize that something bothers you because they do not want to hurt you. They care about you, they love you. So please listen to people. Like watch how they interact, not just with you but also other people, or just like strangers, waiters. You can tell a lot by a person on how like they interact with other people. You can learn so much about their character from those small, minute things. The kind girl is very heavily invested in making sure that that her connections, her circle is solid. She knows that relationships take effort, and they take consistent effort and communication. You can't just like have a person that you don't like respond to, and that you're kind of like meh, like very surface with, and that you don't put energy into and don't ask to spend quality time with them, and still call that person like a close friend. That's not what a close friend is, and that's not being a good friend. She knows that it is important to check up on people. It is important to ask people to spend time, to show that you care about them. When it's their birthday, write them a card, bring them a gift. Don't be that person that just like, oh, I'm sorry, like I forgot your birthday, forgot a gift. Like that's so shitty. That is so shitty. Like really, like ask yourself like what kind of friend you're being. I would not do that at all, because I really value my friendships, and because I don't have like 20 different people that I talk to. I mean, like I know a lot of people, but recently, like in the last year or so, I've realized that not everyone needs to be my friend, and I don't need to like everyone, and I don't need other people. I don't need everyone to like me as well, and that's okay. Unfortunately, it took a very severe friendship breakup to make me realize that and understand that. But I see that was a blessing in disguise. And truly, you do learn something out of everything. And yes, sometimes situations happen and months go by and you're asking yourself, why the fuck did that happen? Why me? Why did I have to go through that to learn something? Because I'm not getting the lesson. I'm not getting what I was supposed to like get out of that scenario. And those things really hurt. Those big lessons that you don't understand yet really hurt. But I promise you that there is a lesson, there is something to be learned from everything. It's just a matter of going searching for that answer and going to go look for what you can get, what you can learn from the things that have happened to you. We're done with the nice girl. The kind girl is an active listener. She listens more than she talks, and she does her best to not interrupt other people. There's this psychology thing where people actually are more invested in you, and people like you more when you are a good listener, when you allow people to speak. That's why if you just allow the space for someone, and I did this as a social experiment because I work in customer service, if you show up as a genuinely kind person and you genuinely care about what people have to say, I promise they are able to feel that authenticity, and they are able to feel when you ask a how are you doing just for the sake of asking a how are you doing. A lot of this shows up in body language. Their facial expression will be very like just kind of average and normal, and they won't have it like any like light in their eyes, and they'll ask you that really quickly, and then they'll like move on to something really quickly. But people who actually care about what you have to say will like give you really good eye contact, and they will give you space to like actually answer them and for you to explain like, how is your day? Like, what have you done today? Like, how is it going? How are you feeling? They care about your emotions and where you are mentally. The kind person is also incredibly caring. She will go out of her way to make someone feel special, to make people feel heard, to make them feel understood, to make their life easier. Kind people are very catering to others, and they want to make other people feel good because that makes them feel good too. It's a mutually beneficial situation. For example, if you realize that your friend is really struggling with doing her homework, offer her, hey, what can I help you with? Can I get you maybe something to drink, something to eat while you're doing your homework? Do you want to take a break for a little bit and go for a walk together? You know, kind people will do that thing because they've programmed themselves to think of what people need, think of what can help other people. Being a kind person, you'll get good karma from that too. Like, the more kind you are, the more free you are with your love in a way that does not drain you, in a way that you genuinely want to give out, you will get that positive energy back to you, and people will appreciate that. I can think of very little more that makes me feel good than doing something for someone else and seeing that happiness from them. There is something so fulfilling about doing things for other people. Gift giving, acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time. Figure out their love language and cater to them in that way. If you really love someone, take time to learn what makes them feel loved. The kind girl understands that being vulnerable is not a weakness, but a strength. Being vulnerable is showing the world that you're able to show up authentically, you're able to share your genuine thoughts, you're able to be so confident, and you don't give a flying fuck who likes that, because the kind girl knows that the right people for her are going to like that, and the wrong people for her are going to not like that. Be a polarizing person. If you're polarizing, if you say polarizing things, you're going to attract the right audience. You're going to meet the right people. That's where I have to have a lot of trust when it comes to the law of attraction, is really putting your faith in knowing you will show up a certain way and you will attract people that are like you and people that will fuck with your vibe. You attract what you are, not what you want. You know, you can say like, I want this, I want that. But at the end of the day, you're going to attract what you are. If you have not healed, if you feel broken, you are going to attract more of that. So that is why it is so important to heal yourself, to focus on self-love, on self-worth, get into therapy, get into taking care of your body, because those things are going to heal you. They're going to heal you, and then you'll stop attracting all of these broken people who have no self-worth, no confidence, aren't the kindest people in the world, don't treat you like the queen that you are, you know? Like, you deserve to be treated so well. And I feel bad for a lot of girls that I see who are in these just like situationships and relationships where the guy is so obviously flirting with a million other girls while they have a girlfriend, and that is just so disrespectful. And I feel awful that those girls stay in those situations, because I understand people are acting in a way that they know, okay? If you knew better, you would do better. So recognizing not everyone's in the same spot as you, and don't get mad at people if they're not in the same spot as you mentally. Like, help them learn, help them grow, help them see, like, in your opinion, a better way to be treated, a better way to live. But also recognize that not everyone wants the exact same things as you, and that's totally okay. Like I was mentioning earlier, our belief systems are so individual and they depend heavily on how we were raised, how we grew up, and what kind of media that we consume. So having that space and that ability to allow people to have their own thoughts, allow them to have their own opinions on certain matters, and you don't have to agree with them and they don't have to agree with you, and that's fine. Let's get into a bit of the mindset of the kind girl. She recognizes that everyone has such good in them. And sure, she understands that everyone has flaws as well. Everyone has bad in them. Everyone is imperfect, but that's what makes them so special. Because if we were all perfect, if we were all the same, like there's nothing unique, there's nothing individual, there's nothing special about being perfect. You know, perfect is so boring. Have you ever seen like the Barbie movie, where like everything's perfect in their world? You'd get bored because honestly, we like to have progress. We like to have struggle because struggle gives us something to work on. Struggle gives us something to go for. Like the whole grinding mentality is so popular, I think, because people are so addicted to stress and addicted to struggle. And this is something that I was like thinking about the other day, because I was like in school and I was doing the most. I was literally crying over my classes. And then suddenly it all stopped and the semester ended, and then I felt like not stressed anymore, and I equivalated that stress to boredom. And I was thinking of, okay, basically, how can I stress myself out again? Like, how can I pile things on my plate? Where I was like, oh shit, I am so addicted to stress. And so many of us are so addicted to stress. And I want to learn how to have peace be my baseline, have peace be my goal, have just like stableness be my thing, to like my I'm just gonna say baseline again because I can't think of another word for it. Whereas stress being my baseline, my immediate state of being. Another thing with being kind is the kind girl does not immediately perceive people a certain way based off appearance, off of appearances, aka she doesn't let the halo effect like take over her head. The halo effect is when you find someone attractive and you automatically assume because they're physically attractive that they also have other positive like traits with that, even though you don't even know that person. For all you could know, like you see a cute guy and you assume, oh, like he must be like a gentleman and like sweet and kind, when like for all you know, he could be like a rapist and you have no idea, but because he's attractive, you know, like you just assume these good things. Or if someone is really, like in your opinion, just ugly, you just assume other things about that person, like, oh, they're probably dumb and they're probably like didn't even graduate high school, they probably have no education, they're probably poor. But like, you don't even know that person. They could be the smartest, most like kind person you have ever met in your entire life, and you would never know it because you just immediately judge that person, judging a book by its cover. And a kind girl does not do it. She recognizes that worth does not come from appearance. Worth comes from who someone is. It comes from how they treat other people. It comes from what they can give to the world. It comes from their actions, not their looks. Sure, having good looks is going to heavily impact how people perceive you, at least immediately, and maybe even in the long term, depending on what kind of person they are. But everyone has the ability to be beautiful in their own way, and I genuinely do believe that. And once you start recognizing beauty in yourself and how amazing you are, you're going to see that in other people, in every person. You're going to have that be your immediate go-to when you're meeting someone for the first time. You're just gonna Notice the things that you like about them, the things that you find beautiful or charming or endearing. And that's a really exciting part of becoming a kind girl instead of a nice girl, is you start noticing beauty everywhere. Oh, this one's so good. I love this point. I'm sure that you've heard before that rejection is protection. Rejection is not a bad thing, and it is for all you know, you could have saved yourself a lot of grief, a lot of bad experiences, a lot of negativity, just because you were rejected by something, because you were rejected by that guy, rejected by that friend, rejected by that job opportunity. I believe that the universe is protecting you and is always, always looking out for you and has your back. So whenever you get rejected by someone, understand that at that moment in time, that thing is not meant for you. And that is okay. For a goal, for like a business or something, you're gonna be rejected a lot, okay? It might be a little difficult at first. I'm not saying that you need to give up on your dreams at all, but specifically when it comes to people, you have no idea what you could have been getting yourself into. You have no idea. And when one door closes, another one will always open. So example, for your business, if you had something come in and you were so excited and then like it ended up falling through, for all you know, there could be another even better thing for your business right around the corner and you didn't even see it. But because that door closed, another door opened and you're like, oh shit, like thank God that other thing didn't work out, because otherwise I wouldn't have had this. And how are you supposed to know that that was even there? That's where faith comes in. That's where belief comes in. That's where trust comes in. That's why building up self-worth is so important, because you're going to build up that faith in like the greaterness. I don't care if it's God, Buddha, the universe, whatever you believe in, but faith is tied to every religion and every faith and every like spirituality. The core of it is belief, and the core of it is faith, and it's so important to cultivate that in your life. The kind girl understands that her energy is so fucking precious. So precious, and it's not to be given to every single person and every single situation and every single place. I know that I said that the kind girl gives her energy freely, and this is true. But she gives her energy, she gives her kindness, not in order to get people to like her, but because she genuinely wants to. And when she genuinely doesn't want to anymore, then she doesn't. When she feels that intuition, that feeling that something is off, that something is wrong, that this person, you know that feeling where you might not even know a person that well, but there's like this little almost border inside of you, like this little knot where you're like, something's wrong and you don't know exactly what it is. Trust that. That is your gut. That is your intuition. It will never lead you astray. You need to stay in line with that. You need to trust that intuition. If somebody is like fucking up your energy a little bit, if like they're messing with that, that is a very, very big red flag that you should not be associating with that person. You should not be spending your time with that person, because they might be an energy vampire. They might like be a very broken, negative person. And trust me, you do not want to be around those people. They will bring you down with them, whether they know it or not. A lot of the times they don't know it. A lot of the times they do. You don't really know. So please listen to your intuition. It will tell you very clearly people's energy. And kind girls and nice girls are very sensitive to that energy. They're very, very, their little energy meter, it's super sensitive. They can feel when something's a little off. So please listen to that the first time around. It's gonna save you a lot of bad experiences. Trust me. I wish I listened to it a little bit more, a little earlier. The last thing that I have written down is she knows that not everyone is for her, and she is not for everyone. This is such a great point, and I'm so glad that I'm finishing with this because it really does tie up who the nice girl is. She just shows up as she is. She knows that being kind is the best way to be, and that she does not need validation from other people. She understands that she has gifts. She is a good friend. She is a good sister. She is a good daughter. And because she knows that, if somebody comes at her sideways, if somebody's not treating her well, she has enough self-worth to distance herself and to not interact with that negative energy. A lot of the time, those people are genuinely just like jealous of her. They're envious of her. They wish that they could be her, because who doesn't want to be that kind, magnetic, beautiful person that's just so caring towards everyone that she meets? I don't think anyone wouldn't want a friend like that unless they were super envious of that person, unless they knew that they didn't have those traits themselves. So take their rejection, take their meanness as a compliment to who you are. That just means you are so polarizing that it bothers other people. And like, damn, that's pretty reflective of how far that you've come on your own journey, and how far from a nice girl to a kind girl that you have become, because that is something to be proud of. I give you an award for that. Ex nice girl, Brandon kind girl. Hey. Okay, that is all that I have to offer to you. I don't know how long this video is now. Like, I'm guessing it reached close to an hour. I thought this was gonna be like 20 minutes, but I hope that you took information from this. I hope that you understand better the differences between being a nice girl and being a kind girl, because they are so different. And being a nice girl, I hope for you, is a phase, and being a kind girl is your long-term identity. Yeah, that's the right word for it. Thanks for listening today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.